Let's get started then. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our TrackRhino Community Spotlight. Our mission with the TrackRhino community is to make independent musicians successful, and our goal with the Spotlight is take one of the hundreds of members we have and get to know them a little bit better. Today, I'm very fortunate to be joined by our very own Big Mike. Big Mike is the CEO and founder of 208 Music and the only TrackRhino member that might dethrone me as the best beard in the community. Big Mike, thanks for being with me here today.
How you guys doing, man? How you doing?
Good, good. I want to get into what you're working on these days with Tap It Music and everything that's happening with 208 Music. But before we get into any of that, what I always like to start with is, what's your origin story? Superheroes have origins, musicians have origins. Spider-Man got bit by a spider. What happened to you? How did you get here today? Where's the origin?
It's a crazy story. I'm actually writing a biography on it right now with a pretty good writer out there. But I'm Native American. I came from the Salt River Pima Indian Reservation out of Arizona. Um, Lived in poverty most of my life. I should not be here. I should not. I'm blessed, privileged, but came from nothing really. Mom sweeping dirt off the dirt floor in the mud home to moving to Las Vegas when we were 5, and just hard life, man. Hard, grew up in North Las Vegas. I thought that was living because we came from the desert, and then you know, my passion for music came from what do you call it? I played trombone for about 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Did a lot of big concerts around, marching band, all that stupid stuff. But you know, I was the geek guy in school that played the trombone and had to carry this big old case to school and stuff. And then from there, just the passion for music is in the soul. It's like church. So I just grew from there. I had a keyboard that did 16 tracks. All of a sudden, I could make music. And then they came out with karaoke machines. So you used to have to flip the tape over here to this one, and then have another tape to back up that one. And we was just we made things happen back then when didn't get in trouble for going outside and doing stupid stuff.
Mm.
But music's been my life, my passion. I did not expect to be where I'm at today. I had little bumps in the road. Most of my life, I was a drug addict, addicted to methamphetamines. I go to schools and preach this a lot. But it took me down a road where it was, sent me to prison, and prison saved my life. I got out. I went into prison. I got every, degree that possible of that you could educate yourself in there. Got out. Went to college. Um, I went to college, get this, to design my own posters and CD covers. So I went to graphic designs, and then found out it's so much more than just CDs, posters, and stuff like that. So I went into the marketing field, and went and got my bachelor's in communications and psychiatry communication through slandering businesses and using tactics, emotions to sell a product. And then got my traditional marketing and advertising. So I was always into music. The day I wanted a recording studio, a week later I had it. And I've always worked with artists. I was always the one that just built these little super groups up, you know. And we'd get up there and we'd start doing tours and stuff like that. And it takes one person to screw the whole group up and start over and over and over and over. And then I came to little old this community. Love it out here. And I told myself, if I could create a hip hop culture in little Boise, Idaho, where it's not like politically conservative, but conservative, protective of their people, their kids, and all that stuff, they didn't accept hip hop when I got here. If I could convert this city, I can go anywhere in the world and do it
Mm.
because it's conservative. And today I run Boise's longest running hip hop show. We're sponsored by Del Taco and a bunch of big corporations that support our community. We built the community out here. I built a model that is unique to everything in the industry. So, like, independency is one big thing that, like you guys, we want to put the power back into the artist. I had the privilege to meet the guy that runs the music industry. I'm 45 years old today. I grew up watching hip hop become hip hop to what it is today to understand it. And a lot of people seem to forget it's about the culture, it's about the artists, it's about the elements and everything that relies to this community. And so today I'm an A&R. I'm executive chief music producer. I have 3 executive producers that work for me right now. I'm blessed. I'm number 18 in the nation when it comes to being vocal producer. Um, it's just, I'm privileged. I'm blessed, you know. And then I seen this whole movement, you know. So like, I'm an innovator. I don't want to change my life when I said I don't want to. How do I be remembered when I die? Not a crackhead want to be producer, but a legend like everybody else, right? And that's pretty much my story. You know, I got married. My wife, 25 years. I have no kids. I've just been dedicated toward this career every day. I wake up and say, what can I do one thing today to better my life and my career? If it takes me 5 seconds or 10 hours to do it that day, at least I got to do it every day. And today I built a freaking empire. I'm tied in with Rock Nation, Warner Music Group, Atlantic Records, a lot of big names out there that I just been blessed. That I don't know how I pulled it off. You know, power of manifestation. Excuse me, it's early over here for me. I was up till 6 in the morning working. um, but yeah, no sleep, grind. How bad do you really want it? You know, I used to dream about it, and now I live it.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's inspiring, man. If you could go back at your lowest point, right? Uh, Addicted to drugs, going to prison. If you could go back today and give yourself some advice or some words of wisdom, or just tell yourself something to encourage that young man, what would you say?
I wouldn't say not a damn thing because I had to go through those hard knocks to figure out what I really wanted in life, to appreciate it more, to appreciate where I'm at. Um, it had nothing to do with my career, if
Mm-hmm.
that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
I'd probably tell myself, "How bad do you want it?" Like they were already telling me, right?
So then
People
when
that
you're
were successful.
going to different schools and you're talking about your experiences, you're talking about doing this, there's got to be people listening to this or listening to when you're speaking then that relate to that. What message do you want them to take? Like what?
At the end of the day, I want everybody to know that it doesn't matter where you come from or how hard your life may seem. It's only for the moment, and chase your dreams because you can do it. It doesn't matter how far that goal is or how big it may seem impossible, but it's just one step at a time. How bad do you really want it? You
Right.
know, don't listen to other people tell you or knock you down and say you can't do it. At the end of the day, they don't care about you. It's only you that's going to make it happen. Even your closest friends, families, moms, dads, if they don't agree on what you're doing, if it don't match their core values or their intent, they're not going to support it anyway. So at the end of the day, it's just me, and I eat, breathe, and sleep hip hop music and independency, and how can I save a life through hip hop music. And I've just been blessed. The moment I stopped chasing money and started chasing success is the moment I started making money. The moment I stopped doing things for myself and doing things for others instead, other success is the moment I became successful. You know what I mean? I rate everything off success. So at the end of the day, I tell anybody that if you have a dream, the hardest thing is just taking that first step. Once you do it, don't stop, right?
Right.
There's no reason to.
Right. And let's
Any
talk about.
entrepreneur,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, any entrepreneur knows that, will say the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, what's a dream without a goal?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a dream.
Absolutely. I want to go back to what you were just saying about helping others. When looking you up, when looking up 208 Music, one of the things that's just like a repeated theme with you guys is this idea of community. Like it seems to be at the heart of a lot of what you do. From working with the boys and girls clubs to hosting events to speaking at different school districts. Why is this so important to you?
Because family is very important to me, man. Like I don't treat this like a record label. It's an artist development company, and I treat it like a family. Like couple years, I bring in talent. Like I get to pick the best of the best of them, man. They walk through my door, and it's like, okay, and you get to pick and choose who gets to use you. So like, who do I want to bring into my family, right? And I got generations of family. Get me wrong, but the family represents community, which is a sense of belonging for these people. Like a lot of these people, they have this sense of like they could be out in the streets doing drugs, playing gangster, whatever they're doing. I'll give them that opportunity. Let's be a community and let's make an example in our community at that, right? Like because the community already looks at the hip hop industry as a bunch of hoodlums and thugs and gangsters and drug dealers. Well, I run Boys as Long as Hip Hop show in a community that's very conservative, and they like white girl trash, get turned up, you know, get jiggy with it stuff. That's what they like out here.
Mm.
So I try to preach to the community every week is, hey, these guys work hard at this. It doesn't matter what their content is. Just respect that they actually take the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They're chasing the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Do I agree with some of it? No, I'll call them out on it. Some kid would be in the booth and he'll be like rapping about how he moved kilos of cocaine with Escobar. And I'll be like, damn, that's crazy. You really did that? You know, make them
Right.
feel funny about it
Right.
without disrespecting them. Just have a talk with them.
Right. Right.
For me, community is very important. Like I grew up in the '90s and stuff like that. I feel like that was a real biggest boom of community in hip hop when everybody's at the park on Sundays. You know, you got the Black Street and Tony and all these people. You know, it was fun then. So I'm just trying to bring that sense of culture back to the music instead of this. I don't even know what to call it nowadays. Entitlement, um, degrading. You know, I mean, like how many times you listen to the radio and be like, how the heck did this get on the radio? But a week later, you're singing it.
Right. Right. Right.
It's just because it's marketing. You know, I get it. I'm a
Right.
marketing guy,
Right.
but I want, I want, I want to produce music that sends a message that saves lives. At the end of the day, what's the point of making music? The whole point of making music for me is my message to be heard by the masses. Make it a good one.
Right. So let's talk about that. What do you do these days? Like, what? How do you balance the workload? What is your workload? Do you make the music? Do you work on the business? What's your day to day look like?
Oh man, I don't even know day to day, but my phone will tell me. But no, actually, I actually I'm not a jack of many trades. I'm a master of all. You know what I'm saying? I actually took the time for each thing. To become an executive music producer, you have to know ins and out of every position within a record label. I am not a record label. I sponsor artists. When I sign them, they're sponsored, right? And I teach, and that means I'm sponsoring them to teach them how to be independent. So my job can change from tomorrow be doing a video shoot to today producing an album to tomorrow do tap it or staying on my toes, man. I mean, I never know what's going to walk through the door or what my life's going to bring me, but it's a blessing. And if I could put my 110% into it, it'd be all good. But in reality, we all only put 99% in. No one
So
does that completely 100%. But it's just crazy. I don't know, man. Like I deal with different people and different people, parts of walks of life that I'm an entrepreneur, so whatever is fun. Is there that catch my interest? I'm doing it. I just try not to keep my plate too full and balance it out, you know. But like you said, I'm constantly working. There's no time off. Um, in the entertainment industry, at least there isn't. Even during COVID, I stayed working on new innovative stuff. You know, I can adapt to. That's gonna change stuff. I don't know, like there's there's a lot of crazy pioneered stuff that I've created through COVID that just keeps stacking up that I feel like is about to be released like a big bomb. If I had the budget to do it all, yeah, I'd be a billionaire. But then again, it's not about the money. It's about you know, the community and saving a life.
right.
Um, but I don't know. My shoes are pretty small, but like I said, I don't know what the heck I'm gonna look into tomorrow or today. I just know that it keeps me really busy. I'm blessed and I'm privileged. I I devoted my time to every position. Like I'm constantly during the day with my employees, mostly keeping them. They keep my attention all day. What they need with it, how to do this, what's up with this, blah blah blah. I don't get to do my time until 11 at night, till 4 in the morning. That's when I'm working on my stuff in the studio, mixing, um, calling the editors and making sure they're getting their stuff done, and then the business stuff comes. So 90% business, 10% music. That's what this industry is. Nobody
Right.
wants to do the 90. Nobody wants to do the 90. They just want to do the 10 though.
Right.
Everybody loves making the music.
Right. Right. I think I relate to the late night work. I think my most productive time for me is between 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. There's no one to
Yep, me
bother me.
too.
Everyone's gone. There's nothing. I can just focus on what I got to get done, and I can get that stuff
I
done.
agree with that. Yep, that is me all day.
Yeah. So you mentioned COVID allowed you to stack up some music, work on some stuff. But what happened with COVID? Like, how did it affect the business? How did it affect music? How did it affect the artists that you guys work with? What was the, you know?
So it did take a big toll on us. Like, I think our industry hit it the hardest. I think we were hit the hardest. As far as like they're still trying to bounce back, and they got these new PPPs coming out for venues and movies. I mean, like, if there was a stage five, we are that. you know, they're still just opening that up. It's just finally getting back to normal. Um, myself, I am able to be able to create the 6 foot social distancing. I'm putting them pretty much in their own quarantined room to record. So, like, I don't know. I have ways to capture people now all over the world. I don't have to even. They don't even have to come to the studio no more. I can just basically guide them through online software that's been created to capture their vocals and stems. Um, so, like, I was always coming up with different ways to adapt, and that's what I started doing during COVID. And so it really didn't affect me as hard as it did a lot of other people. I actually was more busier because everybody's at home wanting to do what they got to do. People are thinking about, like, how am I supposed to start something that I love, right? So every day there's somebody that wakes up and says, I want to be the next big thing. So I'm there to cater to them. How can I get that, dream to start? So, for instance, remember back in the 50s, they used to listen to the radio to watch the television shows before television came out. So I created a lane called movie music. And so there's Tommy Prophet is NF. NF is a huge Christian rapper in the industry. His producer is um, Tommy Prophet. Tommy Prophet is a composer that works for Marvel, who does all the movie scores for Iron Man and Mountain Dew. He does Mountain Dew. Phenomenal composer. Well, he created a lane called cinematic beats, and that's like the big NF. If you know NF, NF has these big cinematic like beats with Brahms and booms. But I have studied that guy, and I created my own lane. Instead of using the movie cinematic stuff, I used the movie cinematic stuff for transitions, and I used different genres of music as my orchestra. And I made like these 10-minute, like 10 to 15 minute compositions of all kinds of different styles of genres, and I created this composition that not only had emotion as you listen to it, like happy, sad, mad. It had conviction to it. And then on top of that, I basically used the genres of all the artists that use that write in that genre as the storytellers of this movie. That's a script was written to this composition, and it's crazy. It's like I haven't released any of it yet. We've been working really hard on it. It's different. It's so that was a solution that I had for entertainers to, you know, get their music out there. Also, um, it's still going. It's just not as important as now that everything's back, opening back up. We're hitting the shows again. tours are coming back. You know, the artists are hungry. You know, we started our Boise's longest running hip hop show again. At the end of the day, my goal is to open up a 602 music, a hip hop hub or music hub in every city to be able to have like a community based, you know, hub for music and dreams.
Right.
Hip hop in general.
So then, if we were to put COVID aside, what would you say if you were to look at independent musicians today, you to look at the landscape with things opening up? What's the biggest challenge that these musicians are facing, and how are they tackling it? How should they be tackling it?
As far as COVID goes and sales and stuff like that, or for the get the career off the ground.
No, let's put COVID aside. Let's just talk about the industry overall.
Well, it depends on an individual's artist's goal. At the end of the day, some artists may just want to be signed and try to get the grand deal, right? Which is probably the most rarest. You know, like that's why everybody chases is that oh, I want to be the next Eminem or whatever it may be their case, maybe their idol may be. Or there's people that just want to be independent and understand how to learn the independent game. But I'm gonna tell you the most common thing the most mistake that the most artists make is they just want to make the music. Stop making the music. Stop killing your music. These guys make tracks after tracks after tracks after tracks after tracks all day long, and they're thinking that their old stuff is done because they've heard it 50,000 times. Doesn't mean that everybody else in the world's heard it.
Right.
So you're pretty much throwing away your hits or potential hits, and in order to find out what's right, I mean, like, follow the process. There's a process, right? Just like anything that the world releases, if you have a product, you want it to be the best that it can be. You got to find out what the people think by doing tests. You know what I mean? Like having listening parties, having individuals you don't know that just come in and give you actual constructive criticism and be able to take it. If 9 people say that track 9 sucked, well, track 9 is coming off the album. I'm sorry. If 10 people say that track 1 is the best one that they liked, well, there's your single, right? I mean, like, but people forget it, but don't want to worry about all the other side. They just want to make the music and put it on iTunes, and hopefully someone's going to hear it and it's going to blow up. Well, what's a dream without a goal? I'll always ask that question. Mm-hmm. It's just a dream.
Right. Wow, that's powerful.
Everybody, like, I mean, we all plot every month to know that we have to work so many hours at so much time an hour to be able to pay my bills every month. It's the routine of life for everybody. That's no different from your dream or your music career. There's no chance or just blindly go into it. Do the research, understand how it works, follow the process, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I always tell people, this new employees when I hire them, I'm like, if you can prove your process works better than mine, we'll use it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That's how an entrepreneur thinks, right?
That's right, you know. At the end of the day, to the artists out there that are really trying to make it, don't do it to be cool. Don't do it to impress people. Do it because you love it. And do it for the ultimate message that your platform is going to reach millions, potentially. And how do you do that? You just got to keep thriving and understand what you want. Understand who you are as a person and what you represent. If you're just trying to be cool and hang out there and glorify women and drugs and violence, well, that's the life you're going to live at the end of the day. That's kind of like what Hollywood did to my people, Native Americans, right? It's just all make-believe.
Right. So let's go back to what you said about there being a process and following that process. And then when you hire new employees, you say, if you know a better way, we'll do it your way. So what you're talking about is the process that you employ at 208 Music, what you put artists through, how you develop artists. What made you start 208 Music? How did you get it started, and where is it going? What's the future of 208 Music?
So, like I said before, it's mainly it's franchising it. I'm on my last stages of it right now to be compliant with it, and that's just make the company handbook. But 208 Music started as a community-based platform. It was a community-based platform that helped local and independent musicians showcase their talent in front of a live audience, and to be able to give them the chance and the exposure to be heard in like such as downtown Boise. Like a lot of people don't. Hey, you guys won't like Boise. Boise sucks, but it's actually beautiful. Just tell people don't do it. But it's actually becoming a major city. Like it's the #1 growing city in America right now. Um, it's beautiful. I travel all over the world, and I always come back to this place. And so there's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of hidden talent. A lot of people don't understand about. Like they think this is Iowa when they talk about Idaho and they talk about potatoes. I don't think we even get an Idaho potato out here. But so 208 Music for me was very important. I just started off as a producer, loving to produce music. Um, just like I said in the beginning, I didn't ask for this position. I never even expected to be this guy, a role model, a guy everybody looks up to. Um, it's hard to conceive and fathom. Like I don't feel successful yet. But the goal, what started the 208 Music was there's always so I was smoked out records before I went to prison. Okay, I was an advocate of marijuana, and it's legal in most of these states, but not mine. I'm Native American. I consider it medicine. I do. Um, I don't drink. I don't do anything else. I smoke cigarettes. That's a bad habit that I'm trying to stop. But that's what the label was back then. And back then, this was in like '05, let's say. I seen all these labels. They had all these shows all around town, and it was always about the label and their artists. And the only people that would show up was the family and friends that they knew. It never grew any bigger than that. And I was so sick of this pattern of insanity. And so I said, all right, I'm going to create something for the people. Let's do something. Let's do showcases. Let's showcase each, you know, label. And I'm from Vegas, so I did stuff out there and back here. Worked in Vegas and brought it to Boise, and once I did it for the people, I never charged the admission at the door. I never charged the artist, and I always gave the artist opportunity to make money. At the end of the day, let's just get them exposed. I have radio announcers. I have radio stations that sponsor me, and I get radio ads. So let's give them Let's give them the freaking, the spot on the radio. Like, hey, I'm gonna be performing out here. This is my name. At the end of the day, was how can I bring local people to find the local musicians? Because in that world, there's a lot, but how do you combine them? Because you only got to know friends and family that know these people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I created. I created a spot where people can go find the local musicians, and the local people can find each other and connect them. At the end of the day, it's for someone else's success.
Right.
If I can't help someone else become successful, then I'm not successful myself. So that's how 208 started. Before 208 Music, it was just a community thing. It belonged to the community. I did it for the community. I was still a studio, but it was more like a business development is what I was running. I had printers and graphic designers, installers for signs, and the music commercials and jingles and all that stuff. And that's after I got tired of developing these supergroups, and they all break up every time. I went to that, and I built the 208 Music Up brand in the community enough to say, all right, now's the time to make my switch. Now let's turn it into a for-profit. Let's make it a thing to actually help the community. And the ultimate game plan for 208 Music is not just 208 Music. 208 Music is just the catalyst to it. It's more of a hub across America, and every area code to have. I own a lot of the domains, already. When I got out of college, I went and worked for a SEO guy here, and it took me 2 months to understand what he did. I didn't understand nothing. I was like this graphic designer that worked for him, and I was like, what the heck does this man? Once he figured out, he was a genius. He's freaking just went and bought all the search term domains, is what he did back in the boom. And now his servers are so powerful that he ranks number one organically all the time. So he rents out those domains to empower other people's websites to be builder. Once I figured out all that, I was like, this man's a genius. And I turned it and I did it in the music world.
Right.
So that's all I did is implement. It's the implementation of all that, right? As we go on forward, I have three other sisters, but they're not named the area codes. There's Dice ENT. That's Lady Dice. She's an artist that I developed, multi-viral artist. I don't know if
I've
you
heard
heard
her
of that song.
music while I was
Yeah, Sugar
researching it.
Boom. Sugar Boom Boom, I'm chasing. A lot of people's heard that song. It's an addiction song that helps us save a lot of people from heroin abuse. I produced that track. She's the singer on it. That lady's traveled me around the world. You know, Grammys. We just got back from the Grammys last year. Crazy, 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 crazy. Blessed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, but today I'm in a new facility and I'm starting Idaho. I'm starting a school of hip hop, pretty much. How can I get the youngsters involved to be future clients, pretty much? How can we get them to understand what they want to do and chase their dreams? So, like I say, I got 3 executive producers that work for me. A lot of them work for producers that like work for like Ariana Grande, and they all have like names under their belt. A lot of people don't even know this is in Idaho. They're like, "This is in Boise, Idaho." Yeah, I got people travel all over the world here to come see me, and it's it's about the success at the end of the day. I think once I always booger hook them through my mix
Okay.
because I've been yeah. But that's how two-way music came a thing, and today it's just evolving and more evolving and partnering up people like you guys. It's been a blessing. Like I was blown away that we had this opportunity to do this, and
Yeah. Yeah. So then, what's the plan with Tap It Music? What are you doing with that?
that is becoming the distribution of this independent company, pretty much. But at the end of the day, it is literally if I can finish the final puzzle pieces of the puzzle, which is ASCAP, BMI, and Nielsen SoundScan, which sounds like I have to take a trip out to go see them personally because they're very interested. It's just logistics that we have to work through. But the Tap It music is basically changing how the industry distributes music, right? Nowadays, people want instant gratification. They don't even want to go to iTunes anymore or uh, Spotify because they don't want to wait for it to go into rotation. They go straight to YouTube Red or the instant. Let me hear it right now. And they don't even make CD players in cars anymore. They don't even put them in laptops or computers anymore. These distribution companies, these second party, third party distribution companies, are pretty much raping the artist. They take percentages along with extra upcharges to keep them in the stores at all time and try to keep them current. But at the end of the day, all that distribution that they're filing for, it didn't cost the distribution company nothing. It's free to distribute if you know how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I just I was already an aggregator through DistroKid because I buy my own UPCs and IRCS numbers by the bulk, and I sign my own distribution numbers for the artists that I represent. So I thought about this thing a long time ago when I think I researched you guys like maybe 2 years ago. You guys had just started launching some crazy stuff, and I think like Popple was in the works or something like at the time. And a guy came up to me with one of those cards, but it was a business card. He tapped my phone, and it went. All his information went straight to my contacts. I was like, I ordered me one. I'm like, this is cool. I understand it. The back end. I'm a graphic designer. I work with web developers all for 5 years, and so I understand it. So I was like, well, how cool would it be to be able to distribute music like that? And I sat on it, and I called you guys, and I couldn't get nobody. Um, you guys were busy just launching. You guys were excited, I get it. And I sat on it for 2 years, and finally, you guys sent me because I signed up for you guys' like newsletter or something, and you guys sent me the link to what you guys are kind of using it for, right? And I didn't quite understand it. And then I got a hold of you. Someone got a hold of me, and I was like, yeah, but that's still kind of taken from the artist. This how I felt, you know. When I talked to Rahim, and I was like, this is what I want to do with it. Can I do this with it? He's like, well, yeah. And then he basically told me, if you pull this off, you know, we're all going to be billionaires. I was like, yeah, I get it, dog, but it's not for the money.
Right.
It's for the innovation, right? It's for the change of the innovation of how we do our stuff. So that day came along. You guys made it happen the way I wanted to, the way that I foreseen it, and it's working beautifully right now. Like I'm almost out of beta testing. I have maybe had 2 hiccups that were not even nothing related to IT or anything like that. It's just common user stuff that we are not ready for yet, I guess, in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, it is the new way that we're going to have iTunes and all those guys coming to us for these cards. It brings back the old sense of distribution, of carrying all these CDs and popping them out the trunk. You don't have to do that no more. It's just a tap of a freaking card, right? And the end user gets what they want right there without no registration, without anything. No, you didn't have to submit your email, none of that stuff. And it puts the money back into the artist things. Basically, I'm creating it like a distribution company. I know you guys are selling it like cards. You know what I mean? Sell the cards to the end user. It's kind of a subscription-based thing, blah, blah. I'm turning it around the opposite, where I'm only selling one card to the artist, and the portal becomes the portal that interchanges of the look and feel of what they're trying to do to distribute their music, and they get the money instead of slanging CDs or slanging taps.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny about it is I tested it, the first time I tested it live in the club, I had 10 artists with tapping cards down there during a show, and it became a game like Pokemon to the end user.
Right.
They're running around, and I'm putting singles on these things, so it's just like $2 a tap. And so we got drunk patrons running around looking for who's got the next tap. Well, what's your tap? What's your tap? You know what I mean?
Right.
And it became like this game, and it's the atmosphere was just fun, different. Everybody I've showed it to, they pull out their wallet every time. It sells itself. The product is great. There's little kinks that we got to go through, but I think it's going to be huge. And once we get this ASCAP and stuff linked in, it's going to be a game changer. I've been really working hard at it, but those guys are so busy that to get a meeting with them, you're like 6 months out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, on our end, you know this, but for others that know this, like TrackRhino wasn't something that we created directly to address the needs of the music business. We created TrackRhino because we used to sell, and still do, custom branded USB drives. It's only once we launched that we're individuals like yourself and others that there was this just ginormous wave of people within music that were like, I need that. And we're like, why? And we spent the last couple of years understanding the music business and understanding what are the gaps and like, what is it about, what is it about this? To just doing that right there, just tapping the on the back of my phone and getting this to load up. What is it about this action that's getting so many people so excited within music? And it's only occurring to us, over, I would say, about the last year, how much impact we can potentially have with this technology within music. And, it's gotten us really excited about it as well. And it's, I think there's amazing applications like what you're saying. Sell the tap, don't sell the card. Right? And the potential for that is so high. Right? The new stuff they're working on, like the subscription service. Stop paying Spotify. Pay your artist directly. Support your local artist directly, and they can set the price. Even if it's $1 a month, $5, whatever it is, you're supporting an artist directly instead of them getting a few pennies off of thousands of hits. There are so many different applications as well, and it just, the breadth of what everyone's kind of working on and what they're using it for, it's just what excites us. It honestly, like, you talk about what motivates you when it comes to music. This is what motivates us every day when we come and we see everything that everyone's doing with it. It's it's amazing to see something you create that an entire industry has just embraced so much. You know, so it's really really cool.
I'm really excited to see what the others got going on too, because I know there's a lot of cool things. And like, so for me, I honestly, I believe in this card right here, right? In so many different more ways than just the music right now. Like, right, this is just the catalyst again, once again, of the other ideas that this thing is capable of doing. Um, I'm gonna throw it out there. I should probably shouldn't, because someone's probably gonna come and snag it up and do it. But imagine buying concert tickets and paying a subscription for this, and you just got to go and tap this thing at the venue, and that's your entrance into any concert that you want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many different things that this card can do that's almost endless.
Yeah,
You know, that's great about it.
yeah, and the fantastic thing is like you come up with that idea, you tell it to us, we'll make it happen. We'll figure out the technology behind it. We'll make we'll build it. That's what we love. We want to hear from guys like you about what you want, and we'll just make it happen. That's where the subscription
Hey,
thing came from.
that's no lie. That is no lie. These guys will make it happen, man. You guys do. I was so surprised. Like it probably cost me a couple million to develop all this. You know what I mean? Like on my own, to be honest with you. And that's what surprised me. And I was like, "What's the catch?" At first, like, "What's the catch?" So I was talking to Rahim, like asking all these questions, like, like, if I create this, are you guys just gonna shut me down, or you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of risk that I was like, do I put my energy into something that someone else is just gonna take, and like, or I don't own or whatever. It's not. It wasn't even like that.
Hmm.
It's like at the end of the day, you guys, we shook hands and we said, let's get to it.
Yeah.
And you know, this is evolutionary stuff. Like, you can't. I'm blessed once again,
No, it's
and
good.
privileged.
It's good to hear that. Let's switch it up real quick. Let's go back to uh, Boise, Idaho. I'm curious because I don't know much about Boise. What's the sound like, and how is it different from other regions? How is it different from like the Cali sound or the New York sound or Atlanta?
You talk about music in general, in
Yeah,
music in the music
yeah,
world.
yeah, and specifically to Boise, what's the music there like?
There is so it's classified as the Northwest. You know what I mean? So that would I don't even know who broke out of the Northwest. I think it's like Macklemore and stuff like that. Like it's more like it was more like based off a backpack style. But I want to say like the Northwest is really a melting pot, really, to be honest with you. And hold on, I gotta grab my charger and plug my phone in. But it's pretty much a melting pot now. There wasn't really a hip hop scene out here because it's a lot of country music, a lot of like it's really artsy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
Like it's a college state. Obviously, we got BSU out here. It's a very great place to raise a family and clean and it's more like it's getting hot, but it's more like it's got the small town. You ever watch like National Geographics and you see the rivers and the trees and the mountains? That's what it's like living here.
How's that affect the
It's the
music?
same.
Like you said, it turns into a melting pot because it's is it because it's a new hip hop scene? It's like it's not as old as some of the other areas.
Um, it's thriving. It's very much thriving. It's very hungry. It's new to a point. Like they got music out here. What 6 months, 7 months before it was even released for everybody else to see. So it's kind of like that, but it's still a major city. It's
Hmm.
like going to anywhere else. You got everything that everybody else has. But when I jumped on the plane to come out here, I literally thought I was going to go work on a farm and live in. I swear to God, I did.
All right.
And yeah, no, it's just like a city everywhere else. Malls, and it's like the number one going city in America right now. But dang.
All right. Great. Um.
As far
That,
as I don't know. It's hard to say. There's every sound that you can think of, just like as if you was living in where you live right now.
right. Right.
Where are you from? Where you? I know where he's
Toronto,
from. Canada, huh?
Toronto. The
Canada.
yeah, Canada, Toronto. That's the multicultural, center of Canada. It's it's as melting pot as it gets. Uh,
So you get it.
yeah,
Mine's on a
that's
smaller level.
all right.
We're about to beat Toronto here.
That's awesome. In my opinion,
Yeah.
Toronto's the greatest city in the world, but I'm biased. So, um,
Hey,
let's quickly switch it up. Let's go into what I call our lightning round. All right, we're gonna end with with this. For this, don't think, just answer. All right, first thing that pops in your head.
that gets me in trouble a lot. You know that, right?
Well, let's see if we can get you in a little bit of trouble. Right. So, a quick 30 seconds or less answers. Let's start with what is your biggest success?
My biggest success is 208 Music. It's my company. It is my life. I've worked for my whole life.
What's your biggest
And
failure?
whew, oh man, I want to say my addiction.
Mm, mm.
Addiction.
Deep. Finish the sentence. Music to me is.
Life.
Finish the sentence. If I could collaborate with any artist in the world, I would collaborate with.
Will Smith.
Oh, really? I'm a huge Will Smith music fan. I love his music.
Me
Um,
too.
I dream about.
That almost got me in trouble, but success.
Okay. Well, success to me is.
Accomplishing goals and allowing for growth.
If I wasn't CEO, I would be.
Retired.
In the next 5 years, I will become.
A legend.
Spirituality to me is.
Life.
If you could ask God one question and get the answer, what would you ask him?
What's my superpower?
Without music, I would be.
Lost.
To me, money is.
A catalyst. Nothing really. I mean,
Okay. The next big thing in music is.
culture. Culture means a lot to me in music, and I think that's the next thing I see a lot of these artists breaking out, trying to bring back that culture.
Okay.
That's when we'll bring the '90s back.
Favorite artist all time.
Ice Cube.
Current song that's stuck in your head.
Excuse me.
The current song that's stuck in your head.
Um, I don't listen to the radio that much, so I don't like. That job is music, so I try to just deep brain it. So I don't have current songs stuck in my head.
Okay, fair enough.
It's always thoughts of what's my next move.
Okay. Uh, Final question. I will know I have made it when.
When I'm dead. Oh no, that's a good question.
Legendary answer. It's an iconic answer.
Yeah.
Those are all of the questions I had. Before I wrap up, uh, you know, Big Mike, what do you wanna plug? Where can people find out more about you? How do they tune in? How do they listen?
This is my job. I do it every day. So Big Mike, 208 Music, CEO, founder, Tap It, representative and founder. You can check out all Instagrams, every platform there is out there. Just type in 208 Music. You can type in Big Mike, that's BIGGMIKE. Um, the branding of that is not really as prominent as 208 Music. You can go to 208music.com, kind of see kind of what we do. You don't have to be in Boise, Idaho to gain any of the services or anything like that. You can strictly work remote and get the best results that you want. Have our creative meetings, such as this podcast of the technology, right? If you're interested in the Tap It Music, hit us up. Just look up Tap It Music. The website of that is just about to be launched. There is social media out there on it. Or just go to 2amusic.com and you can find it there also. It's all on the website of the beta seasons that we're going through. Big shout out to everybody that chases their dreams and people that don't keep pushing. just take that step forward. Stay out of the loops. You know what I mean? Continue to go up, not down. Always lift your brother up and sisters up. Never kick them when they're down. Don't judge people because you're not allowed to, and just accept people for who they are. That's it. And thank you. Shout out to TrackRhino 150,000%. These guys know what they're doing, man. You guys are awesome, man. I appreciate everything that you do for me, and allowing us to grow even more and helping us change the music industry, because literally you guys are helping doing that. You guys are going to be iconic, just like the way the music. You guys are going to be the founders of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like you guys are literally changing things, not in just our industry, probably industries all over. You know, all kinds of different industries. You know?
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And that brings us to a close to our very second community spotlight. Big thank you to Big Mike for being here. If you guys want to learn more about TrackRhino, the work that we're doing within music, and if you want to become a TrackRhino member, visit our website, trackrhino.com. Hit us up on Instagram, send us a DM, email us. There's a million ways to get in contact with us. So, reach out, ask questions. We're happy to help. And we will see you on the next one. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.